Don't kill the messenger, but another shutdown looms in January. Will Schumer be leading Senate Democrats then? Will they pivot harder to the left? That's possible. How will Republicans keep the filibuster while also explaining how you can have control of Congress and the White House, but it isn't enough to keep government up and running? Joining us is Fox News contributor and the host of the Hugh Hewitt Show, Mr. Hugh Hewitt. Welcome, Professor. A month's worth of shutdown. To what end? What, in your judgment, did Democrats accomplish in that more than 1 month?
What they got out of it, Congressman, and good to be with you tonight, is an entry in every dictionary next to snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Because they had won big on November 4th. They had won the municipal Marxists in New York and Seattle. They had won the governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia. They had a good down ballot night as well. And then a week later, they're in the trash can because of an ill-advised and poorly executed strategy to do what you said in the intro, shut down a government from which no one can win but people can lose. Chuck Schumer, panicked by the evident approach of AOC's primary challenge in 2028, decided to go for a long ball. He threw into very deep coverage, and it got picked off by common sense. It was a nightmare for Democrats every step of the way. And by the way, at the beginning of it, Angus King, independent of Maine, and Senator Cortez Masto of Nevada, and Senator John Bennerman from Pennsylvania all told the Democrats that it was a nightmare. And everyone there with any kind of experience can remember government shutdowns as you do. There are no winners. And running up to an election to juice turnout, when you have to collapse right after that, that is a great way to absolutely defenestrate the momentum you've built for your party. And Chuck Schumer should be put in the psychiatrist's couch and examined, because that was just not well thought through.
All right, let me ask you about one thing that came up during the shutdown that I find really, really interesting, and you're a constitutional expert. The filibuster is not in the Constitution, and it's kind of been watered down of late, at least with judges, and we have this reconciliation process. If you're in the minority, you like the filibuster. If you're President Trump watching all the sand fall through the hourglass of his second term, you don't like the filibuster. What would Hugh Hewitt advise about keeping the filibuster or not?
I am a big proponent of the filibuster, Congressman, always have been. Ours is an anti-majoritarian constitution. We do not want rapid movements in one direction or the other. The Senate for 150 years has been the bulwark against moving too quickly in one direction, either to the right or to the left. And that 60-vote threshold obliges either that the party in power have 60 votes in the Senate, which is very rare these days, or that they get some consensus reached on some issues, which is usually good for the country politically. So I know President Trump is frustrated by it. Every president is frustrated by the filibuster. Now, if we ever got in the tall grass, I'd go on a rant about blue slips, because I hate blue slips. I think that hurts the rule of law. But the filibuster protects the minority in the country, sometimes from fads, sometimes from crazes, and certainly if the Democrats get back with a filibuster-proofed Senate, they will expand the Supreme Court and ruin the rule of law. They will make D.C. and Puerto Rico states. And before they get there, they ought to be obliged to do a nuclear rule breakup like Harry Reid. Republicans do not want their fingerprints on breaking the filibuster. It's just bad, bad rulemaking.
You know, I advise folks to go back through history and look at all the things that would have become law had there not been a filibuster. I mean, when you're in the majority, obviously it's frustrating, but the sun is not going to shine on you all the time. So go back and look at what would be law had you not had the defense of the filibuster. Before I let you go, I know you're not a gambling man, but does Schumer survive this? I mean, it seemed designed to insulate him from AOC, and if that was his goal, I don't think it worked.
I do think he survives it for a very selfish reason by the other Democrats. Nobody wants that job. Someone's going to have to open the government again. He's a pincushion of arrows. And so there's nothing he can really lose. He is not going to win if AOC runs against him in 2028. I would not be surprised if he is announcing his retirement early in 2027 to clear the way. He's been in government for 50-plus years. Sometimes it's time to go home, and there's no reason not to use up a guy who's been beat up this badly. And boy, has he been beaten up pretty badly.
Yeah, 50 years. It seems longer. Professor Hugh Hewitt, thank you as always for joining us on a Sunday night. You take care. Yes, sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.